Okay, here's my audience. Okay, my name is Annie Cooey, and today I'm going to be talking about the power of failure. What if I told you that failing is one of the best things that can happen to you? Would you believe me? Many people in the world view failure as one of their biggest fears. They see failing as a dead end rather than a positive way to fix a task that they failed at and try again. What many people don't realize is that if we didn't fail, we wouldn't be able to grow. All highly successful people fail at some point on their way to success. A great example of this is Michael Jordan. Michael faced many challenges growing up that eventually taught him how to succeed in the end. The Medium, a highly successful website, expressed how growing up Michael faced many obstacles such as being cut from the varsity basketball team in high school. The article states that this setback could have crushed his spirit, but instead it ignited a fire within him. Jordan took his mistakes and failures and turned those challenges into a positive way to fix his journey playing basketball. First of all, without some type of failure in your journey, there would be no growth and there would be no resilience to become successful in the end. The key is ultimately to embrace your failure. This means coming to terms that no matter what, everyone fails in life. The first step is ultimately see failing as a learning tool and an opportunity to push through for next time so you can go at it stronger. As a high school student, every day I see some form of failure in my life. Whether this is with an assignment, a challenging problem with a classmate or a teacher, or in sports. I take all my mistakes as an opportunity to fix it for the better, so that I know what I need to change for next time it might happen. Ultimately, never fear failure because it will chase after you until you end up failing anyways. Next, people often misunderstand the difference between fear and failure. Fearing things is a part of humanity. Failure and fear often bring up the same emotions, making them extreme very similar, which makes people think that they're the same thing, however they are not. Fear is something that happens internally within someone. Fear is an emotion caused by a possible chance of failing at something. Failure is an external aspect. Failure happens when an outcome doesn't go as planned. This is something that happens externally and happens physically. When people confuse the two different terms of fear and failure, it will more than likely hold them back from accomplishing a certain idea that they have. An amazing example of someone who confused the difference between fear and failure and held them back was Walt Disney. Walt endured tons of failure before he grew to be a highly successful man. Examples of this was his terrible relationship with his father. His first cartoon business went bankrupt, and third, when he created Mickey Mouse, he had a nervous breakdown. Walt dealt with the confusions of fear and failure, but he figured it out in the end, just like Michael Jordan did. From the website biography, it says, but instead of fighting the loss or plotting his revenge, Disney decided to walk away and start over again. It was on the trade ride back from California that he created Mickey Mouse. He took the fear of failing things and turned it into something positive to create something brilliant. Most people see Walt's creation of the happiest place on earth of Disneyland as a core memory of their childhood. His failure that led to success made the world have great memories from our childhood that will carry with us forever. Next, many people believe that failure is bad. They think that failing is something to steer away from. However, it is impossible to avoid failure. When you see failure happen, take the failure and present it into something for the better. Failure happens every single day. We are all human and nobody is perfect. If we didn't fail, there would be nothing to look forward to. In jobs, schools, families, friends, sports, and many more things, we will all fail at eventually. Everyone on this planet has a different story and journey. Nobody can perfectly go every day without a challenge. When we are born, the first thing everyone fails at is learning to walk. This usually takes multiple attempts. The next thing we all usually fail at is saying our first words. When we go through elementary, middle, and high school, everyone will fail at something eventually. Relationships, assignments, sports, everyone will fail eventually. After graduation, we learn and fail at deciding what we want to do with the rest of our lives because there are so many options. After we stick with a degree and we go through college, we will have to find a job. During the job, everyone will fail eventually. In the end, there will never be a time in our lives that we won't fail in some sort of way. However, all these examples show a different form of a way, or all show a different way we can succeed in the end. We find a way to figure out, and we can problem solve for whatever the problem may be. A video I listened to that changed my whole perspective of the power of failure is from the TED Talk called The Power of Failure. This is by Dan Bush. In the video, he shares his life story of his many failures that led to him being a successful man. He addressed the term of micro failure and macro failure. The most important term is micro failure, which happens every single day. Micro failure is a tiny mistake that happens that make you have a mistake into failing. It is something that we can address and we can fix it. And he says that everyone is ultimately a professional failure. This word of everyone being a professional failure backs up my example that everyone will fail at some point in their life. Failure is not something that can be hidden away. This is why failure should be something that makes us proud to see, especially when we successfully figure it out in the end anyways. Overall, failure is our friend. Failure teaches us lessons to better ourselves for next time we attempt something. Everyone has heard of the wise words, if you don't succeed, try again. This literally means if you don't succeed, fail until you do. Next time you feel the urge to rebond a friendship, learn a new hobby, finish an assignment, play a new game, remember that none of those things can be done without some sort of failure, at least once. Do not fear failure. Let failure lead you to a bright, successful journey. Thank you.